Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Candace Parker calls out the WNBA players for their embarrassing display at the All-Star game. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it so much. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's dig into this because this is kind of wild and it's interesting because Aaliyah Boston gives a little pushback and we'll talk about that as well. But I got to say, look, just like anyone, I'm sure even with me and all of you, you don't agree with everything I say, and that's cool, but you're willing to listen. We're willing to have conversations. I'm sure I don't agree with everything Candace Parker has said, but she has been on a roll yesterday with, shall we say, what's the phrase? Keeping it real with regard to the WNBA and the players. So she had some comments about those shirts that they wore at the All-Star game and then how they went out and performed. So let's take a listen to this.
Y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of pay us what you owe us and then do that in the All-Star game.
No. Here's the thing. We come out every single night and we show why we deserve the money we deserve. An all-star game where when we have another game in 2 days, I think that is okay to just go out there and hoop and have some fun. Because on Tuesday, we were back at it and we were playing and we were showing once again why we deserve to get paid.
But I think on one of the biggest stages.
Okay, I want to address the Aaliyah Boston stuff, and this is no shade to Aaliyah Boston. I apologize, but I disagree with her, and this is part of the delusion with the WNBA. You are not showing why you deserve to get paid what you deserve. Well, you are, but not in the way you're saying it, because you're thinking you deserve a lot more. But that is simply not it, because the customer decides. Okay. It actually does not matter how hard you work at whatever it is you do. Ask what is it? 95% of small businesses don't survive the first 5 years. Ask them about how hard they work. But the customer has decided that you don't deserve their money. Therefore, you can't stay in business, Aaliyah. That's what you're not understanding. You are not putting a product on the court. It doesn't matter how hard you play or how good you think you are. It's about whether the fans think that they should pay to watch you play. And they have decided for the past 30 years, the answer is no. So I got to say, I completely disagree with Aaliyah Boston, but I get it. She's in that bubble of, the whole girl power stuff with sports right now, and just because they're women and because they play a sport, they are owed something, which of course is not the case.
With people tuned in in an all-star setting that was invested in more than any other all-star game previously, without Caitlin Clark, right? She was not playing. I think it was an opportunity to really go out there, and it was an added opportunity. It's not going to subtract anything, but I think the narrative on Monday would have been, well, how come the guys don't play in the All-Star game? How come these ladies come out there and they hoop and they understand their responsibility? Like, I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for I was like, I can't, I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to. But I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like, more momentum, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does make sense. But live, laugh, and love.
Sweet mother of all that is good and pure, Aaliyah Boston, bless your heart. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to try not to be so hard on Aaliyah Boston, but that is a ridiculous response to a very important, insightful piece of commentary by Candace Parker. And Aaliyah Boston's response is live, laugh, love. Like, what? What? First of all, yeah, the NBA, by the way, for those who don't know, used to actually put on very entertaining all-star games. Not all that long ago. They certainly don't now. But you know what? They also get all their money. They get their ratings for their other games and so forth. But Candace Parker, again, makes a fantastic point. You're putting these shirts on, saying, pay us what you owe us. And then you go out and you put on that display. That was the product. That was the calling card that you left with the fans who are like, I don't think that we really owe you anything after that, because she made also a great point is if they had gone out and ball, they had made it entertaining like last year, there would have been a narrative more positive to them, more about, hey, yeah, we don't see this with the NBA. The NBA keeps trying all these gimmicks because no one watches because it's absolutely garbage basketball. But the WNBA is different because here is the other point, again, that seems to be forgotten about the All-Star game. Fans paid to be there. Fans bought tickets. Fans watch on television. And y'all can say that they don't get paid much for it, but the players are paid to be there. So they are paid to perform. They are entertainers. The product is their play. And they clearly went out and didn't give a crap about putting on a show for the fans. Now, one thing that I want to mention that I think is kind of maybe flying under the radar with this because of the bigger picture of what Candace said is the ending of that. I saw one slow Euro step. I turned it off. Candace Parker, an icon of the WNBA, right? It was Candace's debut game, her rookie season, that was the last million viewer game on television before Caitlin Clark, all the way back in 2008. Candace Parker just told you, Aaliyah Boston, that she turned it off. That's how bad it was. Now, you can't tell me that there are more people who want the, obviously, other than the players because they want to cash in, but outside of that, you can't tell me there are bigger supporters, people who want the WNBA to succeed more than Candace Parker. And she just told you it was so bad that she turned it off. And your response is live like, I don't even know where to go with that. It's so absurd. And I won't even get into it because this is not about, I know I'll get it in the comments, but this is not about throwing shade at Aaliyah Boston, but it is the bigger picture of the delusion of the current players and not understanding that they're putting out a product and the fans are the customers. And you need to take everything seriously and you need to put out a good product. And like Candace made such a good point, and it was intelligent and it was well thought out and it was well said. And Aaliyah responds with, what was it? Live, laugh, love, live life. Like what are you doing? I don't get it. And I won't even get into it because there's one person commented on that, and there were a lot of responses going after Aaliyah Boston for that. Like I said, she responded to that beautiful point from Candace with live, laugh, and love. Like what? And there are a lot of responses in there, but a lot of people are sick of this. One of the reasons men succeed is because we work harder. They see the money and yachts, but they don't see the hard work and the effort. Women don't lock in and grind like men. They complain until society gives them what they want. Even the big three league is much more entertaining. Candace gives the WNBA great advice. That's what I said. And a carefree response of live life and love is the response. They really don't care what anyone thinks. Yeah, because they believe they are entitled and they are in a point in society where they may very well get what they want, but not what they deserve. Real quick, again, saw that with the women's national team. There was this whole drive for equal pay, equal pay, equal pay. But that was all a lie for those who don't know. The marketing was a lie. It actually went into court. It was proven that the women could have gotten exactly the same deal as the men, but they didn't want it. And they actually ended up getting paid more. And the court said that, and the court ruled in favor of U.S. soccer. And then U.S. soccer still ended up giving the women the deal that they wanted, which, by the way, gave them more than the men and actually took money literally out of the men's pockets and put it into the pockets of the women. They didn't earn it, but we are in that time where they knew they could take advantage of public sentiment, which we may have here. Yeah, okay, that live, laugh, love ain't going to get you all paid. If they don't want to take advice from CP, even on this, you can't tell them anything, even when it benefits their situation. What Candace said made sense, and it was met with combativeness. You can't make this up. I've seen more entertaining games at 24-hour fitness than the WNBA. These young girls are overly mental health conscious, but business savvy blind. If they don't understand the wisdom Candace P is giving them, you are in an entertainment sport on the highest viewed entertainment platform for your sport. One generation not listening to those before them. Candace is right. Y'all trying to make a name for the league, so ball out. Yeah. Look, there's been a lot of garbage put out there about the WNBA and the players and what they deserve and this and that. And Candace Parker, this is one of the best pieces of advice in a short period of time that I have seen with regard to the WNBA that Candace Parker just gave on this podcast. And it was completely completely missed by Aaliyah Boston. Hopefully, a lot of other people see it and don't miss it, which is one of the reasons I'm talking about it. Because if the WNBA wants to grow, maybe take a listen to what Candace Parker is telling you. Put a good product on the court. Take advantage of opportunities. The WNBA All-Star Game was an opportunity, and you all completely missed it. And it's clearly from Aaliyah Boston's perspective, she doesn't even understand that she missed it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.